Hey there. I'm not exactly sure what to say here, other than I'm talking to this camera right now because I'm about to fly a Cessna 208, the venerable Caravan, and I have no idea what to expect. But I can tell you I couldn't sleep last night because I'm so excited, and I just want to get started. So let's do this. I guess you could say I grew up pretty aviation obsessed. I always wanted to learn to fly, and I started learning to fly when I was 17 years old. And since then, my aviation career has really, consisted of single engine, high wing piston planes for the most part. I've flown a few other things, but it started in a 150, then it went to a 172, then to a 182, a little bit of 206 time. But the idea of, being in a position where I could be learning to fly a Caravan just didn't seem accessible to me at all. Just like learning to fly any airplane, my day-to-day started in the classroom. Good old-fashioned ground school. I met my instructor, who was amazing, and he started stepping me through the 208. And I started learning about what this airplane's all about, and almost immediately I realized that it's just an airplane. Yeah, it's a lot bigger and a lot faster and a lot heavier and has a lot more horsepower than anything I've ever flown, but it's still just an airplane. That made me feel a little better right from the beginning. One of the most overwhelming things for me leading into this was the idea of learning to fly a turbine. Somehow that felt ominous. And immediately my instructor, Brian, started making me feel a lot better about that because as he explained about this 675 horsepower turbine that the 208 has, I started to learn that it's actually, in a lot of ways, more simple. After a couple hours of ground school, it was finally time to go take my first walk around with Brian around the plane. It's like Christmas Day. I gotta tell you, I've been around this plane before, but when I walked out there for that first time with the intention of flying that plane, with actually sumping and actually checking the oil and actually, doing a real pre-flight and knowing that I was about to go flying, well, hello, darling. I can't believe I'm going to get to fly this thing. That's something I'm never going to forget. Look at this smile. I'm still smiling.
Pretty big access for loading baggage.
Oh! Hello. So much room. So much room for activities. As I went from ground school into pre-flight and then pre-flight into quite literally getting ready to fly, it occurred to me again, it struck me that this is all just really familiar, right down to where the controls were and everything, the G1000, everything, it's all stuff that I already knew. And yeah, there's a couple more bells and whistles, but for the most part, in a lot of ways, it felt like I was just, getting ready to dance with an old friend that, maybe you just put on a couple of pounds. Nothing says awesome like 675 horsepower of turbine. And when I cranked that thing over for the first time, when I actually did it, when I flipped the switches and made it go, I may be a grown man, but that made me giggle like a little boy. And I'm not afraid to say it. It was awesome. When we started to taxi onto that runway for the first time, I'm going to be honest with you, I felt comfortable. And when we pushed those 675 horsepower forward and we were off the ground in 1,000 feet, I was in love. That's amazing. I was so serious there for a second. I'm like, I don't want to screw this up. After that first takeoff, now I'm flying this thing and it just felt like any other airplane. I slowed down a little bit, put it into crosswind, turned downwind, and I put my flaps down, slowed down a little bit. Brian told me what numbers to hit.
And then bring the power back to about 1,000 foot-pounds.
This is slow us down, yeah.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, I'm on final, and I'm bringing things in, and it was surprisingly easy. That is so intense. Unbelievable.
Awesome. Awesome work. I didn't do anything.
It wasn't necessarily the world's prettiest thing, but
good.
I just landed a Caravan, and it was not as hard as I thought it would be. I can't believe I'm saying this, but technically I just became a Caravan pilot. Just like that. I can't even begin to explain to you what that was like. That was like my favorite aviation moment ever. And the best part is that now this is just the beginning. This is amazing. I mean, look at that thing. I just flew that. And tomorrow's going to be even better. So today is my second day of flying the Caravan, and I'm going to be honest with you, I had a hard time sleeping last night because that was so much fun yesterday. And today is grass day. I'm taking this thing where it's supposed to live, on the grass. Today's goal was really to start to show me the capability of this airplane. It really is at home on short field and soft field, and those big old tires that are on it really like the grass, and I figured that out right away because things felt a little different on that first takeoff and on that first landing. But man, when I put it down on the grass for the first time, I felt like I was coming home. It felt like church. I just landed a Caravan on the grass. Is this real life?
Woo! Rolls on nice. It's smooth for the passengers.
Unbelievable. Thank you, buddy.
You're welcome. As promised, easier than pavement.
I just landed a Caravan on grass.
Great job.
I think I just found my new church right there. This is where this plane is meant to be. My new favorite thing in the world is a Caravan on the grass. Oh my God. I mean, can you see this smile right here? That's grass. That's a Caravan. This is a smile. That plus that equals this.
The winter's done, come and gone. There's a light in your eyes from.
After that first grass landing, I started feeling pretty comfortable, and I started to really get to see how cool it is having this reversible thrust prop. When you hit the ground and you put that thing into beta and you can actually reverse thrust, I mean, that's a pretty cool tool. And it also makes you feel like a complete badass. After those first couple of landings on the grass, this airplane started feeling really natural to me, and that is when the fun began. Because the airports started getting cooler and cooler, the runways started getting shorter and shorter and narrower, and in some cases, softer and softer. The last airport we flew into today was incredible. I mean, this little short grass strip right on the beach.
Stay in the middle for the trees, just beautiful.
Yeah, that is so cool. Unbelievable.
Another great demonstration of what you can do in the airplane.
And we're at the beach.
Yeah.
This is also a great demonstration of why we fly, isn't it?
Yep.
As I climbed down and I started to walk down to the beach by myself, it hit me that my training is over. And this is what aviation is all about. Are you kidding me? Look at this. I can hear the waves crashing about 100 yards that way. I got a fishing pole in there. Unbelievable. This airplane, are you kidding me? I've learned to fly this airplane in 2 days, Brian's going home tomorrow, and now I'm going to be out on my own, and I'm going to be able to go places like this all the time. I mean, I'm standing there on that beach all by myself looking around, and it hits me that this airplane is going to change my life. Today's a big day. I'm flying the Caravan with a belly pod full of camping gear and my buddy Johnny. The goal for today was to enjoy this airplane. I mean, I get to stretch the legs of it a little bit. I get to use the G1000 in all its glory and all its splendor. And I picked a really cool airport that is in the middle of nowhere, totally remote, but plenty long for me to safely get in and out and, you know, not push it too much, but yet use the plane for what it's meant for, on the grass, in the middle of nowhere, for some camping. I mean, that's Caravan stuff. That's what this is all about. And when I landed there and I shut that turbine down and pulled the cooler out, and we got that camping gear out, put the tent up, and we made a couple burgers, and we finally sat down underneath that wing right at sunset. I realized that this is something that everybody needs to experience, that everybody who flies a plane needs to feel this feeling just once. And I couldn't believe how easy it was. Here I am, a Caravan pilot, parked in the middle of nowhere, camping with a buddy, watching the sun go down. That is what aviation is all about, if you ask me. And if you're thinking about doing it, it's not as hard as you think. I mean, if I can do it, you can do it.